And now let's get into the crazy world of professional wrestling.
And it's rare that we have somebody on here that actually has something that just came out. And I feel like we're in the middle of his press tour right
Yes.
now. So I'm actually going to cut my background out for a second because I am holding up the book by our
Hey.
Zack
Oh,
Heydorn,
wow.
studying the artistry of Steve Austin that just came out on Friday. Picked up my
Does
copy in on Sunday. So
does it have the new book smell?
it does actually. I have not gone through it yet. As a matter of fact, I decided I'm going to be saving it. I have chemo next Friday, so I'm going to save it and read it there. So save
Very
it.
good. Very good.
So that's the main reason you're here, Zach. So why don't you tell everybody about your book and where we are here? So let's start here. Tell us about the book. Go first. Go.
Well, thanks, man. I'm so glad you held that up there. It's cool to see it. It's cool to see it in the wild. But yeah, so that's my book. My first one ever. It's called "Stunning the Wrestling Artistry of Steve Austin," and it is a what I've been calling like an in-ring biography of Austin's career. So we start this thing with his very first match, and we take it to his very last match at WrestleMania 38, and we're just talking about what happens in the ring, the art of what happens in the ring. How does he get his reactions? How does he get why is he doing what he's doing to get those reactions? And how we do that is we break it down his career by era. So we talk about Stunning Steve, we talk about the Hollywood Blondes, we talk about ECW Austin, the Ringmaster, early Stone Cold, the hot Stone Cold run, which is obviously like a major portion of the book, his heel run, and then the end of his career. We just take it from like an artistic point of view, an artistic scope. We're trying to dig into the what, why, and how he does what he does within the career that he had. And man, it was just so much fun to write, and I hope everybody has fun reading it. Hopefully you guys can check it out. It's available on Amazon right now. You can get a paperback copy like Blake has. You can also get a Kindle edition or other kind of editions there as well. It's quick turnaround on the books at the moment, which is pretty cool. Amazon is turning them out all very quickly within 2-3 days max, so you don't got to wait. And I hope you check it out. I think if you're a wrestling fan, whether you're a Steve Austin fan or not, we tried to write this, and I tried to write it from the perspective of anybody who likes wrestling can pick this up and kind of get like a next level course on what's happening in the ring. And this happens to just surround Austin's career. But if you're a wrestling fan, you will like this book. Also, I want to just call out the artwork. K. Thor Jensen did the artwork in the book. You can see it on the cover there. And Blake, you can attest to this as you flip through. It's full of original artwork, just of Steve Austin matches, sketchings, drawings. Thor does just an incredible job. There's over 100 pieces of independent original artwork in this book about and from Steve Austin matches. So that's something I'm really proud of too. And Thor did a great job and is worth picking up the book for just for that. In addition to all the written stuff, the artwork is really cool. So Amazon guys, right now, pick it up. I'd appreciate it. You're supporting me, the project, and also independent publishing, which is important too.
No, it's funny, Zach. I've been obviously we've been knowing each other for a long time. We knew each other before the
Yeah.
pandemic and everything else. I remember you announced the book during the pandemic, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"This is awesome! This is a great idea." That was 4 years ago.
Whoa.
Boy.
You announced this book, and I'm like, "Wow, it's finally here!" I'm happy to say it's here. But how come it took so long? I've been wondering that for a long time. Why did it take 4 years?
You know, it's a process, man. Like writing the book is a process. I mean, like you start with this big vision of what you want to do, and then from there I had a great editor in Jonathan Snowden, who's the author of the Shamrock book and heavily involved in Hybrid Press, which is the or Hybrid Shoot, excuse me, which is the publishing company that did the book. And the reason it took so long is like the writing of it itself took about 11 months. That was 11 months of time.
Oh,
But the editing was a very arduous process. The like laying out the book was an arduous process. We had to give Thor time to write or to draw all the artwork. That had to come kind of after the book was already done, and that was a process. And so, you know, add that up, and it's all done independently. It's just that, the three of us really like putting our heads together and making it happen. And, all of a sudden you just get to this time mark where you're like, holy moly, it's been 4 years and we're finally putting it out. So yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, that process is, expedited, but it's a lot of work. And so there's good days with it. There's bad days with it, for sure. And, it certainly was a good day on Friday when we got to put this thing out for everybody to get.
What's funny here is Dad actually goes back way further than we do. He's the oldest one here. He goes all the way back to the beginning with Steve Austin. So I was actually wondering if anything you wanted to ask. I know he goes way back to the beginning.
My thing is the humble beginnings that he gets, Steve, Williams, Austin, which is amazing. Working as a dock worker, and someone says you should get into this, and you look into a wrestling school that was basically held by a gentleman, Chris Adams, and he tutors him, and he goes to the wrestling school, and then gets him in WCCW, and they have a program there that is phenomenal. But there's also some real life drama that plays into it, which I'm not sure if people are aware of. But when you cross the lines of sports entertainment, professional wrestling, and reality, sometimes they get to be a little blurred and jagged. But with this, it was kind of exciting, and at times when they went and had their matches, when you look at them, you really think that they were out for blood, and I think they were at times.
Yes.
By the way, not even intentional. They opened the book up and it literally opened it up to Chris Adams' page. Didn't even do it intentionally. It happened to open the book right there.
we spend like I talk a lot about Chris Adams and Steve Austin in the book, in the first chapter, like right out of the gate. There's at least 2 matches that I go like heavy into, and then some other ones as well, because they just wrestled so many times down in Texas in the USWA. And Chris Adams, for all his flaws, saw something in Austin. And yes, I mean, I think it got a little real there, with their personal lives. But when you watch that feud, it is a hell of a feud. It is really, something that's fun to watch, number one, but it did good business for that territory at the time. And it really launched Steve Austin right out of the gate. I mean, right out of the gate, he's a rookie. He has a few matches, and then, within a less than a year, he's wrestling one of the top guys in that territory, and Chris Adams, and the guy who trained him. So, it says a lot. And that was a fun part of the book to write. I will say I had the most fun writing that part and the Hollywood Blondes chapters, just because I didn't know them as well. So it was really kind of fresh. Whereas like the Stone Cold stuff I've seen many times, and that was fun to write for a different reason. But this was like diving into like a new era of Steve Austin's career. And so, I'm glad you called out Chris Adams in that part, because it's a fun way to start the book. And I think it like gives a really good, when you pick it up and when you guys read it, it starts like, it's a really good like launching point for his career in a lot of reasons. And I won't give away everything, but that's a key kind of theme for the book that we get into. So good call out.
I do like how you worded that, though, Zach, because I don't go that far back. I'm actually really excited to actually learn stuff I don't know. Because like I purposely like do the history of wrestling books. Be like, I want to learn more. I want to learn more. That's why I like your podcast, Back at the Torch, where like you would break down stuff like this, where it's like I want to learn the details. The actual bring it here, bring it to this show. That's what we do a lot of times. They bring up our little knowledge that we don't know about. I like that kind of stuff.
The other thing too that is kind of exciting is when the Hollywood Blondes get formed, and people are just going to wonder, does Steve Austin and Brian Pillman click? I mean, do they have that, certain spark or charisma or that cohesiveness to make the team work? And you come to find out that, like with every team, you have his ups and downs, but I think they worked together to not only better the team, but to better the product that they were trying to promote.
No question. One of the kind of the key components of the Hollywood Blondes section of the book is not just not just writing about the good matches that they had, but looking at how Austin's partnership and relationship with Brian Pillman gave Austin like some confidence to open it up, to open up the personality a little bit, to open up and become a little bit more edgy, take a few chances. And he was able to do that. And he kind of had a safety net in Pillman to play off of. And, you know, rightfully so, people talk about that ECW run, that short stint, that kind of like, okay, that's when he found Stone Cold. And that's true. Like he found Stone Cold there. But you got to go back a little bit further to that Hollywood Blondes part of his career, because that's where he really starts to come out of his shell, like for the first time, and in a way that you can kind of see, all right, there's something there. And so I had fun like kind of analyzing that in the book. And it's definitely true. Pillman and him had a wonderful partnership, and you know, Pillman doesn't probably get as much credit as he deserves for kind of helping Austin come along and find, you know, a portion of his voice as a performer. And, you know, when you watch, you know, 50 Hollywood Blondes matches like I did, you see it happen in real time.
I will tell you, maybe we're running a long time. I know, Zack, but I have one more question I want to throw out there. I remember WrestleMania 38. You mentioned it, ended it with that. I remember watching WrestleMania 38, and I remember this book is coming out, and I'm like, oh shit. The book's coming out soon, and Austin just had a match. Austin just had a match.
Little did you
I
know.
need to know behind the scenes what the hell happened there. Like, what was going on in your brain?
So the story is, I turned the book in what was it? The February before that WrestleMania. So it was in the first draft of it. Like, so it was done. The draft was done. We were going to go to the editing portion. And then I've seen all this Austin stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna have a match. And like, what are we gonna do? And you know, so honestly, like my editor, Jonathan, and I got together, and we're just like, look, like, let's just take the time and write that chapter, because, you know, the book is essentially like a completist look at his in-ring career. And it's not like we're scheduled to put it out like in a week. So we had time to like go back, write it. It wasn't like, yes, I kind of rolled my eyes and like slapped the forehead of like, you got to be kidding me with this. But in the end, it was the right call to hold off, get that chapter written, and kind of have a full completist look. So, oh man, yeah, you know, I
had to bring it up.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Thanks for reminding me, Blake.
Of a traumatic event.
Yes.
Everything that you have in the book, did Stone Cold have any type of input or selection as far as how he wanted things to be presented?
Or was it all you?
All me, completely independent. There were ideas early on in the process to try to see to get him involved, but it was clear right out of the gate that like just contractually from a like business standpoint that he's not allowed to like participate in independent things like that out, you know, without WWE involvement. And it just was going to get like too crazy that way. So yeah, so it's me, it's my look at his career. And I hope everybody enjoys it. You can pick it up now on Amazon. It's right there. Just search Stunning, title of the book, Stunning the Wrestling Artistry of Steve Austin. It'll come up first. And, you know, I'd love for you to leave a review. I'd love for you to let me know what you thought of it. It's really cool to have it out there, because for so long it's me and the computer and I'm writing it and that's it. And now finally, for the first time, people are able to read this thing. And I'm excited and grateful for everybody who's picked it up. And for those who haven't yet, I thank you in advance.
There you go. Thank you, Zack, so much for coming on.